Hello, it's a Friday and welcome to the marketplace. This is where we talk about the market numbers as well as business trends and the implication for the economy here. On the program today, EcoBank suspends plans to undertake a $700 million right issue to track carrying items worth about 800,000 Ghana cedis impounded at the Takoradi port for tax evasion. We hear from the Customs division of the GRA. That we're looking at all of this here on the market. And what is the current state of the Nanaya Asantua Museum in Evasion in the Ashanti region, and what impact on the local economy we explore in detail here on the marketplace. All these and more we'll be looking at here, but you can stay interactive with us if you actually want to, or we want you to do so. Our Twitter handle is JoyBusinessGH, and on Facebook is Joy Business. For more, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is John Kojo Amwako. Will be back with more on the marketplace. You're welcome back, and in our first story, two trucks carrying items worth about 800,000 Ghana cedis impounded at Takoradi port for tax evasion. We hear from the Customs Division of the GRA. The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has impounded two trucks loaded with high-duty materials for tax evasion at the Takoradi port. One of the trucks was loaded with spare parts and other wax print valued at about 800,000 Ghana cedis in total. The intercepted 40-footer container is currently undergoing due processes to compel the owners to pay their duties with penalties. The Ashanti Regional Commander of Customs, Assistant Commissioner Kwesi Ahiakpo, explains to Love Business the phenomenon is assuming alarming proportions in Kumasi.
We've impounded one articulated truck with a 40-footer container supposed to have been cleared through the Takoradi port. It contains spare parts, and what happened was that we have our checkpoints, you know, Kubasi and Hinkro, and this one he got to Anyankwanta, and then when he stopped, he wouldn't stop, and he sped off. So the officer on duty sent a distress call out. The state is waiting for them to come up and just that too. The duty liability, including penalty, is 750,000 Ghana cedis. That one I've processed them, so I can tell you. So just two. Those two trucks here facing the building, yes.
Containing wax prints.
Yes. 750,000 Ghana cedis. The spare parts too. If I should estimate, I do not expect to get anything less than 20,000 Ghana out of that operation. Yeah. The other previous ones too, they paid quite, a lot of money because what they were carrying is going on in Kumasi now. Yes. The smuggling, they will not stop. Habits and whatever they say guy had.
Still staying on revenues and others, the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, has welcomed as timely the new automated system for processing their port documentation. The monitoring system, outdoored on Thursday, is to be deployed on the 1st of next month. It is primarily for tracking export proceeds to ensure effective repatriation of foreign exchange to Ghana and thereby minimize export revenue losses. As part of the initiative, exporters except those with retention agreement would repatriate in full all their export receipt to their foreign exchange account with local banks to be converted into cedis on need basis. Speaking to Joy Business, AGI President James Azareje said this should facilitate business operations and boost the value of the cedi.
AGI welcomes Bank of Ghana's directive, for individual companies, especially those into export, to hold their export proceeds in their respective commercial bank accounts. We think that it's going to facilitate business operations where companies who are into export know that they can hold their own foreign currencies, and for that matter, anytime they need such foreign currencies for transaction, then they will get easy access to these funds. There's no need of having offshore accounts, and for that matter, virtually all foreign currencies will be repatriated into the country. Once you have the foreign currencies repatriated into the country, it helps to shore up, the cedi. Let us understand that depreciation to a large extent in this economy is fueled by speculation. So if businesses know that they are going to get access to your funds, why do you buy dollars, why do you buy pounds or foreign currencies and hold them? So I think it's a welcome development, and AGI is looking forward for more of such progressive directives from the central bank to facilitate businesses operation in the country.
EcoBank has put on hold plans to raise some $700 million through right issue. The bank planned to seek shareholders' approval for this at its extraordinary general meeting and the annual general meeting with shareholders in Lomé, Togo. But board chairman announced the decision to suspend the plan just at the start of the meeting. We'll be getting more details from George Wiafi, who is currently at Lomé, as and when he actually comes through on that particular one in detail. So EcoBank suspending the earlier decision not to actually go ahead to raise almost about $700 million in their expansion, basically. So exactly the reason why we want to actually do that. This is my
International Incorporated has maintained that it needs to raise the funds to support its growth plans. It is expected to give the first option to its current shareholders when it starts raising the money. However, if they fail to participate, then EcoBank might be forced to look outside to raise the $700 million. But this is where some small shareholders in Ghana and other parts of the world dread. This is because the number of shares held could reduce substantially, a development that could hit their returns. But Group Chief Executive of EcoBank, Ade Ayemi, says there is no cause for alarm.
Our aspiration and what we are working on is making sure that we can generate return on equity that's bigger than cost of equity. And when we do that, then all the shareholders will benefit. Now, if a shareholder today, if we do a rights and a shareholder is not able to benefit, but that rights issue then enable the company to become bigger in the future, then it means that that shareholder has benefited.
The State Pension Trust NIT is currently the 5th biggest shareholder in EcoBank Transnational Incorporated, with a little over 5% stake in ETI. So depending on how the vote on the right issue goes today, SNIT's holdings could be affected. The bank would also be trying to get the nod to ensure that both ordinary and preference shareholders enjoy the same rights and benefits. To also be trying to get the support of shareholders to increase the value of ordinary shares to 50 cents per share from the current 2.5 cents per share.
We're back, and we do have George Wiafi from Lomé on the line to actually give us perspective as to what exactly is happening in George, so can you tell us what reasons were given for this move by EcoBank?
Well, the chairman, Emmanuel Isakobo, said that they are going to raise these monies in different markets. And as we speak right now, from their own independent checks, it looks like these markets, the conditions are not good for them to go ahead and raise this $700 million. And that is why just before we were about to start the meeting, he announced that that action, that plan has been put on hold. But I've also been engaging some of the shareholders, and I got the understanding that for those institutional investors, they were not happy with this plan to go ahead and raise this money and the impact on their shares. And therefore, they would have voted against it if that resolution was tabled. So apart from the official reason that was given, we also believe that they knew that if they had gone ahead with this, they won't get the support. And that is why it was withdrawn, John.
No, it means that, let's put this in perspective, it means that the company actually made the plan to table this particular proposal, but because of the environment and also the unfavorable international market, they decided to actually drop it. Am I correct?
Yeah, that resolution was tabled in the documents that were sent to shareholders. So they were going to actually raise it up for vote.
Okay.
But just when they started the meeting, then the board chairman said that they are going to withdraw that resolution. That resolution has been cancelled out. And that plan to go ahead and raise the money wouldn't come on, John.
Okay, this definitely is going to have some impact on shareholders. Can you tell us what this means to shareholders here in Ghana?
Well, you have interest in this bank, and for most shareholders, it means that they are sure that the interest that they have in the bank now is actually going to be maintained. Because if you go ahead and raise these monies, and they are able to raise or invest that required amount, you will see their interest being diluted. So for most of them, they are happy that this actually is not coming on. And the more shares you have in the bank, you're assured of some good returns. Because if there are more investments made and you didn't make some, obviously that interest will be diluted. So for some of them, it means that they are assured of their returns that they are getting over the period, since that it won't be diluted, John.
Okay, George. Also, another perspective is also that as shareholders here in Ghana, probably being happy, well, how about the PLC? Probably they needed this money for some expansion project and that. Is it not going to have some adverse impact on the PLC's business?
We are yet to get those fine details because, John, as we speak right now, the annual general meeting and later the AGM is yet to even conclude to get those fine details that you're looking forward to. So as we speak right now, we haven't gotten the plan B from the management of ETI as to what they're going to do, because we also plan to use this money to recapitalize the bank and aid some expansion that they wanted to do. So as we speak right now, we don't have any details on that one, but we are hoping to get that from management as in the way forward. But another interesting thing is that for the past 2 years, there hasn't been any dividend. But the board chairman has declared that each shareholder will be getting 2 cents for every share held. And don't forget that their profit for last year went down drastically from $338 million in 2014 to $66 million for 2015. But despite this decline, the board is saying that there will still be some dividend payouts to shareholders, and that represents actually about 93% of the profits that they declared for 2015 at ATI.
Okay, that must be some good news there for shareholders, but can you tell me what the response of these shareholders at the meeting is?
Well, more of indifferent, because the board has come under serious criticisms in terms of how the bank has fared for 2015. They think that there's still a lot more they can do to improve the financials, to improve the bottom line, to improve the returns for shareholders. So, just like on the retreat, they want more.
Okay. How do you mean when you say they want more? Because from a point where they were making losses, now at least some dividend has been declared. They should be happy, George.
They want more because they think that when they look at the potential, when they look at the numbers, they could have declared a better profit, or they could have done well in terms of their bottom line than what they've posted so far.
Okay, we thank you very much, George Wiafe, with this particular update. And that was George Wiafe from our business desk there, right there at the AGM and EGM of EcoBank Transnational Incorporated right there in Lomé. Now moving on here on the marketplace, Agric Development Bank, ADB, is targeting to become the best bank in the country in the next 3 years. As part of the strategic plans, the bank plans placing premium on customer service to boost performance and penetration into the banking industry. Managing Director Daniel Siedu revealed this to Joy Business when management of the Multimedia Group Limited paid a working visit at the bank's headquarters.
The delegation from the Multimedia Group Limited was led by the CEO Kwesi Chum. The visit was aimed at strengthening the existing business relationship with ADB. Speaking to Joy Business after a meeting held behind closed doors, the managing director of ADB, Daniel Siedu, was confident about an improved relationship between both institutions.
Clearly, I think that it's been like a partnership, and because I have also had a very good relationship with the group where I'm coming from, I intend to even take the relationship to the next level, because you see it's a partnership and we have to make sure that together we work to promote the good of the bank and also multimedia. So whatever we can do to support multimedia, we will, and whatever they have to do to support us, they have done, and we believe they will continue to do. So we appreciate the relationship and we hope that it will improve.
Mr. Isiedu, who assumed office in March this year, also shared with Joy Business his company's strategy to be the #1 bank in the country.
Well, first of all, let me say that ADB is perhaps one of the strongest brands in this market. ADB has so much to offer the Ghanaian public. With 78 branches, with a lot of products, with a lot of services, good people and all that, I think that ADB has a lot to offer. I think our vision is to see ADB being the best bank in this country within the shortest possible time, perhaps about 3 years from now, and we are working aggressively to ensure that that is achieved. I think one area that which we are addressing aggressively and seriously is the area of customer service. And I can assure you now that if you walk to any branch of ADB, you will see that there is a new ADB with a new people ready to serve. And like I said, very soon ADB is going to be the bank of choice in this country.
And moving on here on the marketplace, the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement System, GIPS, has made suggestions that the latest ATM fraud involving 2 Bulgarians could be blamed on the lapses on the GH-Link platform. The Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service has arrested 2 fraudsters for reportedly causing series of unauthorized ATM withdrawals from the account of their victims. And Prudential Bank Ghana is said to have informed the police of complaints it's actually got or received from the customers about the unauthorized ATM withdrawals using the GH-Link platform. But operators of Interbank GH-Link platform, GIPS, says there is some misrepresentation in the fact, and on the basis of the Chief Executive Officer of the company, Archie Hesse, joins us with some explanation here on the marketplace. So why are you rejecting the claims, Mr. Archie?
Yeah, good afternoon, John. It's more of a clarification to say that what happened was that the ATM cards that were used were cloned, which means that they were copied and a fake image of it was developed and used. Another circumstance, if we have 2 types of ATM cards in the world, Magstripe and EMV, the safer one is the EMV that all cards are migrating to. And if the ATM cards in question had been an EMV standard ATM card, the issue would not have arisen. So the cause is not to do with the switch, but the type of ATM card that was used. Nationwide, we are engaging with the banks as we speak, so that all cards in the country will EMV compliant, as opposed to the current Magstripe that we have.
So that cloning experience or that cloning story we had earlier is actually, like you're saying, it was misreported or misrepresented. Is that exactly what you're saying?
That's right. I don't want to apportion blame here, but I'm trying to explain where the cause is. That there wasn't any lapse in the platform, in the GH-Link platform, but more to do with the type of card that was cloned.
Okay. So what does this actually mean to the use of ATM cards here in Ghana and among the financial fraternity? Because it's actually going to send some shivers of fear and other apprehensions among customers and users of this particular platforms. What do you have to say to that?
Yeah, normally these things are one-offs, and just because it happened, it's being blown out of proportion. It's a process. As we speak in the U.S., they are still using Magstripe, and a deadline has been given, I think 18 months, for all U.S. banks to move to the EMV standard. In Europe, they are all on EMV standard. In Nigeria, they came up with the same directive, a deadline where all banks must start issuing EMV cards. In Ghana, we are about to do the same. It has served us well. We've had a couple of hits here and there, but I don't believe it's an alarming stage as it is. If you look at the use of checks, we are still using checks. We get hit here every now and then, but it doesn't mean it's on. It's gotten to the stage where we should all stop using checks because it's a judgment that you take. There are cost implications to moving to EMV as well, but I think the time has come where a decision has been made that we should migrate to EMV standard.
You know, for the customer, all he or she cares is the safety of his or her money at the bank, and to go to the bank and not for anybody to tell him or her that you don't have your money for you. So let me ask this question, though controversial. Whose responsibility is it in the event I get to my bank and something do happen?
Well, there are a whole host of factors that would need to be taken into consideration. If, for example, it happens that an amount has been taken out of your account and you haven't used it, you lodge a complaint to the bank. The bank will then look at it, go investigate the matter, and that would include looking at CC camera, the footage, to find out whether you were the person who used it. Did you compromise your PIN, or was your card cloned? So there are a whole range of factors that can account for this type of crime. So, and a proper investigation will be done to find out whether it was your fault or the bank's fault, and whoever is liable will be made to pay for it.
Maybe finally, in about 30 seconds, can you tell me, because the E-Crime Bureau has been alerting Ghanaians of some people who are in the country perpetrating some fraud via these electronic platforms, and even the police has had concerns with that as well. Is Ghana really ready to take up this technological drive going forward? Are we not running ahead of ourselves?
No, I mean, in most countries, these things happen. I believe that if we move to EMV standard, the fraudsters will eventually, at some stage, maybe 5-10 years' time, master it, and a new standard will come. So it's a cat and mouse game that we are playing. It doesn't mean that we will stop using the technology, because as of now we've had one or two incidents. We have to keep going on. And in that regard, I think if you remember carefully, last year I made mention of the fact that we must, as a country, move all our cards to EMV standard. And I believe that most of the banks, we've had a lot of interactions with the banks in the last 6 months, where they are all embarking on that journey.
Okay. We thank you very much, Mr. Archie Hesse there, who is a Chief Executive Officer, bringing us to speed and also some perspective on what exactly is happening to do with the fraudulent activities being perpetrated by some foreign nationals here in Ghana. Now, moving on here on the marketplace, the economic dividend provided by tourist-related facilities to host communities cannot be overemphasized. This includes direct and indirect job creation, as well as revenue generation for the local assemblies and the central government. Nanaya Asantewa Museum in the Ejisu municipality in the Ashanti region is one perfect example. The story is, however, different now, as Love Business Prince Appear report in today's special Friday feature.
Nanaya Asantewa Museum was inaugurated 18 years ago. It was highly patronized by both foreigners and indigenes, generating revenue for the municipal assembly whilst creating jobs for the residents. Patronage has, however, dwindled over the years after fire gutted the facility in 2004, unduly affecting its revenue generation for the assembly. Frank Bedu Sampini is museum coordinator.
It was a lively place, actually. When we started, we had people moving in, and we had few people also trying to put up their containers or structures to sell some items there. People were moving in there, especially the foreigners. And you need to book, or when you come. I mean, the door was open 24/7. And so once you move in, you do your booking around 5 cedi. If you have to convert it to current money, right, you pay 5 cedis. And then the conductor taking you around, at least you have to pay 1 cedi, a sort of motivation to such individuals as they take you around. Yes.
Several businesses sprang up around the museum area for obvious reasons. This included kente weaving, bead making, and sale of traditional sculptures, which have also automatically ceased. The only surviving business is this hospitality facility, Jinapi Guest House, sited some 200 meters away from the museum. Manager Georgina Osei-Prempe explains how a business is being affected.
When the museum was in operation, it helped my business. People who made stopover at the museum on their way to the lake passed by my place for a drink or two before they continued their journey. Foreigners visited my place frequently. Some even passed the night in my guest house. Things have come to a standstill after fire gutted the building. Business is really down now.
Attempts to renovate the facility by the Ejisu Municipal Assembly have yielded little results. Municipal Cultural Officer Atu James explains how the development is affecting the activities of the assembly.
Nana Museum, when it was in its functional state, used to contribute a lot to the tourism aspect of the and the assembly used to derive a lot of revenue from it. Part of it used to go to the assembly, others also used to go to the other to maintain the place. Used to I think the estimated number could be not less than between 200-300 tourists within every month. That both local and foreign tourists used to visit the place every month. So it used to contribute a lot, and as it's standing.
The Ejisu Traditional Council is therefore searching for investors to refurbish the facility. Nana Kofi Poku I is Ejisu Nkoswohene.
We are using our own monies to renovate the older one. We expect to use the revenue generated from that one to build the proposed complex. In my calculations, Ejisu could have generated about $470 million a year from the image of Ya Santua.
Until then, the economic benefits of such rich cultural heritage may only be a wish rather than a reality for the Ejisu municipality and the economy at large. Prince Apia reporting.
And that brings us to the Friday's edition of the Marketplace. I hope it's been very productive, but you can still stay interactive with us. On Twitter, our handle is Joy Business GH, and on Facebook, it is Joy Business. For more, you can log on to myjoyonline.com/business. My name is John Kojo Amwakwe, and have a very wonderful weekend.